Yo guys, what's up? Welcome to another video, and this is a bit of a different video. Obviously, this is a PC related video. I usually do Rocket League videos, but I'm also a bit of a tech enthusiast, so I'm gonna be making a PC related video today. Basically, my mum has been wanting a sort of like a new PC. She bought a laptop a couple years ago, but it's frankly not very good. It's got like integrated graphics, a couple years old. So yeah, I thought I might do something nice for her, might as well. And I've actually decided to build her. It's a relatively low spec PC, but it's gonna be pretty good for what she wants to get done. So yeah, I'm just gonna be sort of going over the parts. The build is gonna be in a separate video just because it gotta wait a couple days for the parts to arrive and stuff. But yeah, let's just get into the list. I'm gonna have all the parts to this in the description. If you want to see more PC related videos, make sure to subscribe and stuff because I've got a couple coming in the next couple months. I mean, that doesn't sound like much, but PC stuff isn't really my main focus right now. I mean, it'd be sick to be that in the future, but. Alright, so here we are. I've already made a parts list on PC Part Picker. I'm gonna sort of go through this. Quick note, this price is completely wrong. I think I spent 250 on this system in total. So this mark is just completely wrong, especially the CPU. It's listed as like 350, and I think I spent like 65 on the CPU, so bit incorrect. But yeah, first of all, we're going to be going over the CPU. This is a Ryzen 3 2200G. It's pretty good for the price. I could have got a 3200G, but to be honest, I saw the difference in things like performance, and there isn't really that much benefit of going third gen with her workload. I mean, she's just going to be sort of doing stuff like spreadsheets, maybe a bit of light gaming. She said that she wanted to play The Sims, so this is going to be handling that just fine with the Vega integrated graphics. I'm going to have like a video up on screen and stuff, sort of showing some of the benchmarks. But yeah, these aren't my benchmarks, just a disclaimer. This is like some that I found on YouTube. So it's gonna vary from PC to PC, and obviously it's probably gonna be different with my PC or the one that I'm building her. But yeah, that's the CPU. It's 4 cores, 8 threads, 3.5 gigahertz. So it's not bad at all, and yeah, I think she's gonna make some pretty good use out of it. For the motherboard, I did have to pick something smaller. I'll get onto why in a second, but yeah, I picked the Asus Prime A320M-K. I know it's only A320, and I could have gone for something like B350 or B450, but I feel like for the price, we've been trying to get the most performance for the least amount of money, and there isn't really anything that wrong with the A320M. Yeah, I know it's got things like, less power phase. It's only got 2 fan headers, but I'm actually not going to be using any more than one for this case. This case is really compact, and you'll see, I mean, the FO is going to be pretty good anyway. But yeah, it's got less power phases, and it doesn't have everything like active VRM cooling, but I don't think she needs it. So yeah, this is going to be a pretty decent fit for the build. And yeah, onto the RAM. We all know by now that Ryzen really likes fast memory, and 16 gigabytes is basically the standard. So I've gone for basically what I'd put in my build, to be honest. Not the exact same brand. Like, I wouldn't put Patriot Viper in there. I'd probably put something a bit more flashy, like maybe Corsair Vengeance Pro RGB, or maybe some Trident Z sticks. But we've gone with a Patriot Viper 4 Blackout, 16 gigs, 3200 speed, CO16. It's decent RAM. I mean, it's sort of what I would consider as the standard for 2020. I mean, if you want to have a decent PC, then 16 gigs of relatively fast speed DDR4 is, it's kind of standard. For mass storage, you've got 2 storage devices. A PC these days should have an SSD and a hard drive if you can't get full solid state, but definitely not just a hard drive. That is gonna bottleneck your performance quite a lot. But yeah, I've just gone from a stock Seagate Barracuda 1 TB drive. I actually pulled this out of an old Mac. It's been fully formatted and stuff. It's all good, but it actually saved us some money. It wasn't gonna cost 120 quid. It's probably gonna cost a bit more, like maybe 30, 40. But it saves us a bit of money, and we're trying to go for pretty good performance on a very low budget. For the SSD, we're just going to be doing things like installing Windows on this, maybe a couple applications that she uses more regularly, so like web browsers and stuff, but it's going to be quite small. It's SanDisk X400, 128 gig. It's M.2 2280 solid state drive. You can't really go wrong. I mean, it's M.2, so it's going to be faster than the SATA. It is a bit more expensive. Obviously, it's 54 quid. I probably wouldn't pay that for it. I think I paid like 20, but that is for only 128 gigabytes, and you can see that the price probably will scale quite a lot if you decide to get mass storage SSD, just because, you know, it's quite expensive. But yeah, just a 128 gig SSD is nothing insane, nothing trash as well, just to install Windows on it. The next part wasn't actually in PC Part Picker, so I had to make like a custom thing. I'm going to go to the link though. Here we have the Colink Satellite Micro ATX case, and this is why we needed that smaller A320M Micro ATX motherboard, just because this case is quite small. Airflow is actually going to be pretty good in it. I've sort of thought of a configuration which I'm going to go through in a bit, but yeah, this is going to be more than enough. And I mentioned earlier that she's not going to have a graphics card, so she doesn't really need that much room. She's got like the CPU cooler and then a fan. So yeah, that's the case. It's quite compact, micro ATX. But yeah, I think it's going to be more than enough. Plus she wanted something that wasn't like a huge bulky thing. So yeah, I think this is going to go along nicely with the build. Next power supply, it's the cheapest 500 watt I could find, but that was actually reliable. So you've got an Aerocool integrator 500 watt, it's bronze certification, and 500 watts is a little low for today's standard, but because she doesn't have a graphics card, which will draw like maybe an extra 150 watts, then this won't be needed. I could probably settle for like a 300, 350 watt, but I just wanted a bit more headroom if she wanted to get some sort of low powered, like if she wanted to get some sort of low powered card that didn't require an actual connector. Something like a 1050 would be pretty good to power up this build. But yeah, 500 watts, 80 plus certification. Can't really say much about that. It's it's a power supply, and of course the Prime A320M motherboard is not a Wi-Fi board, so I had to get like a cheap Wi-Fi adapter. I'm gonna go to that Amazon link quickly. But yeah, this is gonna be taking up the PCIe slot. You would think, oh, why don't you just put it in a PCI slot? As you can see, it's only got those two connectors here. But with this case, it only has, I'm trying to get a good angle of this. As you can see in this case, it only has two brackets, which is not good because you see the IO's there and then the PCI slot's there, so you can mount like a graphics card, but any ports underneath that is going to be rendered useless. So yeah, this is going in the PCIe slot, so if she does decide to splurge and get a graphics card, we might have to think of a different Wi-Fi solution, maybe just like a USB one, or maybe upgrading the motherboard to a Wi-Fi one. But we'll see what happens when we get down the road. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the parts. I'm gonna go and actually get like a price list which is accurate for you guys, so I'm gonna be back in a minute. Alright, so here we have all the parts. I've sort of got all the links up. I managed to add up all the prices, and currently this build is going for about 300. I got it for about 250, 260 plus shipping. But I guess it just kind of depends on the day. It depends on when prices fluctuate. Obviously, this case is available from different sellers, so it depends when they want to sell the case, what price they want to sell it for, and yeah, you can probably find quite a lot of these parts used. Things like the case, maybe the power supply. I don't know if it's good to go used power supply. Probably the RAM. I want motherboard used. I want CPU new though, so you could probably find a used one for a lot cheaper. But yeah, that's basically it for the parts. I'm just currently waiting for them to arrive, and then the build will be done. So expect that video out in about, let's say, 3 to 4 days. So right now it's the 9th. Let's say expect it on either the 12th or the 13th, depending when all the parts arrive. So, yeah, that's basically it for the video. Make sure to leave any suggestions down below in the description. My mum also said that she wanted to put some, like, cool pop vinyls and stuff on top of the case. So, yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you in my next one. Peace.